All right, I was a bookie for roughly 10 years, but back when I was a bookie in the early 2000s, it was much different than it is today. When I was a bookie, it required a lot of qualifications and attention. It was really a full-time job, 7 days a week. Now, today, anyone who has some money and people who want to bet with them can be a bookie. In fact, you don't even really need to know much about sports betting because of what's called PPH services. PPH stands for pay per head. These pay per head services provide everything you need to be a bookie. They provide the online sportsbook that you can even create your own URL or sportsbook name. It provides all the spreads and odds for all sports. It does all the daily, weekly accounting for you if the bettor wins or loses. All you have to do is just pay for the service, and the cost is typically dependent on how many bettors you have betting on the site. That's where the name comes from, pay per head, for each player that's betting. Average cost is like $10 per head, depending on which service. So if you have 10 bettors betting with you, the cost of the site would be $100 weekly. Some are cheaper, some are more expensive. Now, I'm not here to promote any of these pay-per-head services. There's several of them. All are pretty similar. Also, I should note the act of accepting wagers is illegal, even if you live in a state that has legalized betting. Now, once you have found the PPH service you want to use, your main job really is just managing the people betting on your sportsbook. You're in charge of setting available credit balances for them and how much they can wager. At the end of the week, you pay the bettors that won, collect from the losing bettors. Now, collecting is where the work comes in. You don't want a bettor losing $2,000 and he or she only makes $500 a week. In fact, as the bookie, you shouldn't allow a bettor who makes $500 a week the chance to even lose more than $250. This would be your job to manage the bettor's accounts, set limits on how much they can lose per week. Now, when I was a bookie, I wanted everyone betting with me. I was obsessed with growing the sports book, which I did, but I later realized that the phrase quality over quantity is 100% true when you're running a sports book. You don't want bettors who can't pay. You'd be better off having 20 bettors who are responsible and can pay when they lose than having 40 bettors and half of them, you have to hound and chase every week to collect. But this goes back to managing players. You don't want to slaughter the cow. You want to milk it. In other words, you don't want bettors getting smoked and losing more than they can pay. But that's the basic short version of how you can run an illegal sports book. Until next time, good luck with your bet.